Alright, let's get to it. You got your boy Boss Billa. This is KBN Records, Swagger Dagger TV. And today we talking about prosecutors and why you cannot depend on what they call the justice system. So there was a black guy down in New Orleans. He went by the name of John Thompson. Now, he was arrested some time ago for murder and a carjacking. The carjacking happened, and then it was a murder too of some hotel executive. Now, he spent 14 years on death row, and come to find out, the person who prosecuted him, the prosecutor's name was Harry Connick, and his people withheld evidence that proved that the black man that they had on trial and convicted of murder, who spent 14 years on death row, was not the person that was guilty. Now, in 1999, he was released and awarded $14 million. He was only released because his lawyer had some kind of private investigator go dig up dirt and find out that he was prosecuted with a lack of evidence. And so what ends up happening is that when he gets out, he's awarded $14 million. Now, they recently took this to the Supreme Court. They appealed. The prosecutor appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, overturned the $14 million verdict. And pretty much what the Supreme Court was saying is that the prosecutors cannot be held accountable for whatever evidence that was withheld. Now, let me tell you how that's wrong. In a trial, whatever evidence the prosecutors have, they must then turn the evidence over to the defense lawyer so that the person on trial can have a fair trial. The law screws people over. In this case, Harry Connick, Sr., who was supposed to be an outstanding prosecutor, he screwed this guy over and had him spend an entirety of his life in jail pretty much because he didn't want to turn over evidence. He didn't want to believe that this man didn't commit the crime. And what made it so bad is that they had a description of the guy who supposedly did it. And he was described as a guy who was about 6 feet tall and who had a tight curled maybe low cut. Now, the person who went on trial, John Thompson, actually didn't fit that description. He was about 5'8", which is 4 inches or more shorter, and he had an afro. The law cannot be trusted, and the Supreme Court cannot be trusted. And I'm breaking that word trust down so that you get the picture. What is trust? And how can we have faith in a system that will not even admit that they were wrong? Will not even admit that they owe John Thompson this $14 million that he sued for? I mean, he deserves it after spending an entirety of his life in jail. The prosecutor screwed up in this case, and they have to be held accountable, just like we would be held accountable if we did anything wrong. What sets them aside to the point where they are immune from being held accountable? 4 prosecutors knew that evidence was withheld. New Orleans actually has a history of this happening in the same office of the prosecutor. Evidence being withheld, people acting like they don't know what happened. The prosecutors all running around like a chicken with its head cut off and withholding evidence. This is no just law. Don't let them tell you that justice is justice. We have to stand up. We have to do something about it, or else we'll all go to jail. And when we get out after serving 14 or more years, 25 years, we won't get a dime. That's how they feel about us. You have to do something. This is KBN Records, Swagger Dagger TV. I am Boss Billa. Let's get to it.